What's up, people of YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of Super Mario Odyssey Countdown. Anyway, so we're going to talk about my favorite Super Mario games. So this will be 2D and 3D. I will be doing down the road, I'm going to be doing a history of 3D Mario games, Super Mario games, like 64 up to Odyssey. It's not going to be spin-offs. This one's going to include some spin-offs, well, maybe, if you want to call them that. Anyway, so without further ado, let's get started. Probably my favorite Mario game of all time would be Super Mario Brothers for the NES. It's just that kind of gameplay I love. The 2D platformer, that's just what I prefer. I think it works better for Mario. Not that 3D doesn't work at all. I just feel like 2D works better. Yeah, so. The next one would be Super Mario 64. This is the first 3D game. Yeah, I know there was like Super Mario Kart. Yeah, so Super Mario 64 was on the Nintendo 64, as the name implies. And that was probably my favorite 3D Mario game. Yeah, the graphics weren't as good. I also like the DS version. I kind of like the 64 version, or Virtual Console version better, let's say that. Because that's the one I played the most. I did play it on the original 64. But I mostly played it on Virtual Console, because I never had a 64. I always had to go to my neighbor's house to play it. And I moved away, so maybe they'll make a Nintendo 64 Classic. Come on, Nintendo. But, well, so, yeah, it's just the first 3D platformer. It's not perfect, but the only reason I kind of prefer is just, I don't know, it was just retro style, and I love that gameplay. The music was really good. I really didn't like the story. I don't care about the story. I just play Mario because it's fun. And it has good music as well. And for the time, the graphics were good, I guess. I mean, if you look at Metal Gear Solid on the PS1, they couldn't even move their mouse. Next up is New Super Mario Brothers for the DS, and, you know, I'm going to combine these together. New Super Mario Brothers 1 and 2 for the DS and 3DS. Second one's on 3DS. I prefer probably the 3DS version, New Super Mario Brothers 2. I don't know why I didn't actually put that in order correctly, but yeah. So it goes back to the 2D roots. I don't know if you want to call it a sequel. I saw in a timeline, and I don't know if it's Nintendo Power or Game Informer, something like that, where it almost made it sound like New Super Mario Brothers takes place later in the series, when I thought it was just a reboot. And I still kind of think it's a reboot. Like, I don't know if that was an official timeline, or just more of like the timeline when the games were released, but whatever. Yeah, so, the games are good. I prefer the original one better, but I mean, they're still pretty good games. The 2D, CGI, some of them are built in Unity, at least Super Mario Run was. And yeah, I technically still consider that New Super Mario Brothers, more or less, even though it's a mobile game. But it still uses the same kind of, I don't know if it runs on the same engine, but it looks almost identical on the Unity engine. Another game I want to talk about is Super Mario Sunshine. This was on the GameCube. And this actually used the flood gimmick, where you can like spray water, rocket into the air, and run like Sonic the Hedgehog on water. And that was a lot of fun. That game was actually a little more challenging, I thought, with some of the levels, but I kind of enjoyed the story a little more compared to other Mario games. I don't know, maybe that's just because of Bowser Jr. and the Blue Mario. That's what I always called him. I think that's and there was some voice acting. Like actually full voice acting. Well, more like Breath of the Wild had. I mean, it was limited voice acting, but there was cutscenes with full voice acting in them. But anyway, yeah. So I think that's the only reason why I wouldn't say I love the story of Super Mario Sunshine, but the only reason I kind of like it is just for those reasons. And it's not like great, but it's alright. But yeah. And then the final two games. Oh, I want to say Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 are not on this list because, yes, I did like those games, but I think it's just due to the motion and collecting the star bits with the Wii remote. So the next game it's the Super Mario 3D series. So it's 3D World and 3D Land. Yes, 3D Land was on 3DS. 3D World is a Wii U game, but I like 3D World better. You play as a cat. That's not the entire reason, but you could play with more players. The levels, it was an HD. That's not really why I liked it that better though. Yeah, even though it did have better graphics. But yeah, just kind of more original ideas. It did have motion, although I was okay with the motion in this game. Because, I don't know, I felt like they did it correctly, and it's not like they're pushing it too far. I can understand playing Wii Sports. 3D World, 3D Land, almost like, I guess you could say it's like Super Mario Land and Super Mario World, only in 3D. The only reason the Wii U one was called 3D is probably because they didn't want to say, I guess they could have said HD World, but that might be confusing. Yeah, but those games were good. It's almost like 2.5D, although it's actually 3D, but it's not like 3D as in like the other games I mentioned. And yeah, there's gimmicks, so you could turn into Tanuki Mario, kind of like go around. It's almost like a reboot of Super Mario Land or Super Mario World. Only I don't think Yoshi is Yoshi in 3D World? I don't remember. I never beat it. Beat 3D Land a couple of times. 100%. Not 100%, but I got most of the unlockables. I got all the unlockables, I just didn't clear it with every character though. With Mario or Luigi. But I did get hard mode unlocked and whatnot. But yeah, anyway, I pretty much 100%ed it, with the exception of Luigi, because I mostly played as Mario. Just, I don't know. I don't know which one I like better, but, you know, it depends. Sometimes I play as Luigi more in some games. Anyway, yeah, so I think Super Mario Brothers, Mario 64, New Super Mario Bros. 1 and 2, Sunshine, 3D World, and 3D Land. That is my list of probably some of my favorite Mario games, or Super Mario games, I should say. Yeah, so I think without further ado, that's going to be the end of the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. I could have planned this better, but I'm trying to get some videos out. Next time, not the next video, but eventually in the next several days, I'm going to be doing a history of Super Mario 3D games, starting from Super Mario 64 up to Odyssey. It's mostly going to be just games released, though. Anyway, I'm going to shut up. Thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed, and I will see you guys on the next episode.